Hello, welcome. Greetings. Kango Fango, hello. I'll bust through 916 with an as to yet unknown voice. Hello, welcome. Okay, that's all set up correctly. So, last time, Serious Cow King, hello. Last time, did coal stuff. Mainly coal coming down here to a distribution place over here, which I don't really want to do more detailing around now because I want to actually set up the chains first, the product chains first, and then do the actual scenery around here when I get back to this area, which is the last area we need to build on the route, aside from, of course, updating certain other areas. And then we did have a quick look around to see what places could maybe use a bit more coal, other than, of course, all of the coaling towers that need to be recoaled. We thought maybe over here the paper and pulp mill could maybe use some, but I found that I don't really know how small amounts of coal would have been unloaded for such industries in the US. And I haven't done any research on that in between, so let's do that later. Also, I've just noticed that that frog is not positioned correctly. So instead of doing this now, 1 second, I thought we'd get started on the sugarcane stuff, because at the moment, that is the, as far as I can remember, only industry chain that we still need to do. Yes, we've got the lumber unloading area up here we need to connect, and the general goods coming from over here and maybe up there as well, down to here to be unloaded at various industries. But I think that the sugarcane is the last big chain that we need to do. Of course, I'll look through the industry list, which lists all of the industry tracks on the map, and then we'll see what we've got left afterwards. But let's get started with that. So, oh, it looks like they've already gotten started with farming it. Good. That should help. We'll actually have something to sell. Right, so let's read a bit more chat. Yes, stream title, Trainzing it up, yes. Hey, blame Emichu for that. Yeah, how are you, by the way? Both of you, and by both of you I mean all three of you. Yes, Tsukamule. Yes, translation, Tsukamule. Map is big, well done. Yeah, thank you very much. I mean, this is the size of the map. And each one of these baseboards, so you can see each of these squares is called a baseboard, and that's 720 by 720 meters. And this was all built on stream, except for that baseboard there, because that was the first one I built as a test. Tired, actually, you. A bit tired as well, but also excited to do some more work on this and get this closer to being finished. Also, I'm looking forward to tomorrow, of course. And I've had great ideas for a new game, which I would like to make a prototype of at some point. Not on stream, of course, but just making a prototype of it, so that's good. I've done some writing, and I've done lots of stuff. So, now, here's the, the bit where it gets interesting. So, if I look up sugarcane railroad car, then the sort of stuff that I tend to find are kind of these, what look like almost open-sided gondolas, or hoppers, as you can see here as well. And we don't really have those. See, they're open at the top. We don't really have those for trains. So either we're going to go with just normal gondolas, like these ones appear to be ish, or we go for boxcars. But let's try what kind of product loads we have. So let's go, hold on. I want to find our wood ship one. If I can actually navigate my map without getting lost. I want to find my woodchip gondola and then see if we can load sugarcane into this. Because I think we've got several different sugarcane industries anyway, so yes. Right, tomorrow, oh, Friday fun day, We'll use Tree OMSI 2, Sharadice. I mean, I think that if I were to make a map in OMSI 2, it would just take way too long and would be way too frustrating for someone who's used to all of the luxuries of Trainz, aka undo, redo, layers, actual search filters, the DLS, multiplayer. Yes, please. I mean, maybe. Although, like, the thing is, if I'm thinking of, like, if I think about making a map for, hold on, do we not have, okay, well, we've got sugar as a load, no, hold on, cane, EM sugar cane, let's have a look. Does this work like this? Is this the kind of, well, yes and no. It is the kind of load that does have this texture, but it is much too large on this. Let's have a look on the DLS. Yeah, so if I go to all the trouble of making an entire map for buses to go on, and given how much work that is in OMSI 2's map editor, then I'm at that point I might as well make my own bus game and make a map for that in Unity. But that is also a lot of work. Although, that might be a good thing to stream if I did do that. So, it lists these as commodities. Cane load to suit. Ah, let's have a look at this. It might be narrow gauge. Right mouse button on image, open image in new window. Yeah, again, driving. Oh, driving, of course. Yeah, I totally didn't know you meant that. Oh, this is for... Ah, alright, that's just a bin. Right. I meant driving. Ahem, Brighton map, Kappa. Well, I'm not too familiar with that. You'll have to make that in OMSI 2's map editor without going insane. That's what Whistlehead was doing. How is that game going along, by the way? I mean, if I were to make a bus driving game, it would probably be like a spiritual successor to SES's Bus Driver. Cough, that's... Alright, that's your job, Charles. Oh, what is that referring to? Sorry. I meant driving the Digibus Mirage on the new Lincolnshire map, the whole 100 route, Gainsborough, Lincoln, Scunthorpe. Maybe? I don't really have a slot to do that in. Charles, oi, you missed mine from 2209. No, I meant to tag, I'll bust through, ignore. What? Don't know what you mean. Haven't a clue. He hasn't done any streams showing it in a while. Okay, so we've got these loads. 5-ton cane cut billet load. But these ones are probably, yeah, 2-foot narrow gauge stuff. So those probably aren't going to be that good. Although, This one has in the description cane load suited for old cane wagon. Let's have a look. Yeah, to me that looks narrow gauge. Yeah, old 2 foot, yeah. So all of the stuff that we've got here, oh, it's even in the title, yeah. All this stuff looks to be for 2 foot. And so that is the only sugarcane load that we've got here. Now, I might be able to make my own load. Actually, let's have a quick look at how this asset is set up. I've only made one load, and that is a load for tanker cars, which is the acidic waste. But let's just have a look at how this load, the EM sugarcane, how that is set up. So let's open for edit, reveal in Finder. 1 second, come on. There we go. So we've got a TGA file, and then we've got a JPEG, which are the same. I assume one of them is the image, and the other one's the texture. Then we've got a texture asset, so primary cane 3 TGA, so that's, and then the tile, yes. And then with config file, username, which is of course the name of the asset, kind product resource, instance, yes, product category. So I'm assuming that that is like the kind of stuff like the coal or the wood chips. Category class IB. Okay, or that might be that. Mass. Then we've got the texture. Ah yeah, so it references the texture file, which is this one, which then sets the primary texture, the primary image to the TGA file. Allows mixing, no. Author, yeah, that's the author. Organization, none, okay. Contact email, and then we've got regions and stuff like that. Mesh table it doesn't have, apparently. Yeah, and the JPEG is the thumbnail. We've got the KYD, KYD table. Okay, and this one, if I just copy this out, which is the same thing that gets linked up here as the product category. And then if we put that into the content manager under the KYD, bulk load, that's what it's called, bulk load. And that's what it's referencing to for the mesh and stuff. So, hold on. 1 second. Not today, I need my content. Yeah, so that's the Hadicot Trainway, of course. Good, good. Yeah, so this is number 2. Cycling through the numbers, that's number 2. So, I mean, I guess I could, if I find some Creative Commons 0 textures, then maybe I could quickly make my own product by copying some of the config values from the other one. Yeah, because that's 1, and that's... Okay. So it would have to be 3 in that case. Now, on my normal computer, I had a text file which... in which I had all my KUIDs listed so that I didn't accidentally reuse KUIDs. But I think that we can maybe quickly do this. Let me just quickly read. Although I don't know if it needs to be a TGA file or if it can be a different kind of file. Anyway, let's. Oh, there's a lot of chat. I might need to skim over some of this. Yes. Short as I meant. Right, try on that, yes. Okay. Wait, tag me in what, huh? I'm here. Good. And that's your job, cough. Didn't work. Oh, I just do pretty colors. Yeah, I haven't heard of him in a while. Creative Commons sugarcane texture? Yeah. Yeah, you do it well though. So TJ is the texture and JPEG is the thumber. Well, JPEG is the thumbnail and TGA is the bitmap for the texture file, which references it as the primary or whatever it was called. I don't do it much anymore. Kind of lost the enjoyment in it. Oh, you mean like retexturing, or what do you mean? Oh yeah, see. Yeah, photograph my own sugarcane. If I could, perhaps, but that would take a while. Tried immediately on install, in fact, but just couldn't get it right for the life of me. Late night travel vlog to the nearest sugar mill, sorry. Sugarcane farm? Got a photo on stream with gotta get a photo on stream with a flashlight and then take it back. Take the bus back? Well, flashlight? Why not use just a flash, like camera flash? If you want, you could have a look at some. Okay, repaint buses, yeah. Okay, so let's have a quick look. Now this, I've only really done this once here. Hold on, there we go. So I'm not entirely sure. This may not work, but let's try it anyway. So new content. And then if I go to today, it should be listed there. A new asset, for some reason with this image. Let's open that in Finder. Yep, it's not got anything else in it. So config. So I'll change this to 03. And then, hold on, where was the other one? There's the other sugarcane one. So let's just have a look. I will have to change the name in here as well. So it was 11, new asset. So what should it be called? Let's call it sugarcane bulk load. Why not? We may have to do the dragon thing later. So let's have a look at this other config again. So yeah, username is important. That is the same as the file name should be. Then kind is of course a product, and you can go on the Trainz Wikipedia, not Wikipedia, the Trainzpedia, whatever it's called, 2009 Wikipedia page, and get the stuff there, like the details of it. Apparently instance type is something if I were doing this off stream, I'd probably look up what all of these mean, but this way is just quicker for doing this. Product class. Yes, that is the KOID for the bulk load asset from N3V. Category. Actually, no, product category it was. Hold on. Category. And category class. I may have to redo some of this if I mistype. And as for mass, I honestly don't know what to put, so I'm just going to copy what the other ones put in, which is 0.769. I honestly don't know. Oh, sorry, not an F. Okay, and then as for, so then the product texture, that's going to have to be another text file, basically. So let's just call it text.texture. That's mixing. I don't think we have to put all of these. But yeah, we don't have to put all of these. Right. So mesh table is in here, but it's empty. So I don't know if we need that. Let's try without it first, and if it's faulty, then I can add it in. Thumbnails. So thumbnail 0. Image. Thumbnail dot JPEG. Width. Apparently 64 by 64. I think you can have other resolutions in here, maybe? I'm not entirely sure. And then we've got the KUID, which I've got up here, but that should work. Then we need the KUID table, which is basically the dependencies, if I understand this correctly. And then we need to put in the product thing as the dependency. This is index 0. So let's see if that works. Of course, we have to now look for the texture. Oh, there's lots more chat. Hold on, let me quickly read this. Thanks, I lost my prep work for it, which I had waiting for years until Solo came. Oh. Yeah. Wait, huh? Why change the KUID? Because this way, because I was writing them down, this way I can make sure that I don't have the same KUID twice, if I just number through them. Because if it's just a random number each time, yes, it's unlikely, but it could theoretically give me the same number again. And then, well, I think, or maybe that was, because I know it happened in the past, but that was between Trainz versions. So maybe it's internally coherent, but maybe not externally. So anyway. Despite having all the reference in the world, I'm actually really bad at B&H repaint, so I do loads of prep work before. Shuricane. Haha. The bad repaints? Come on now. It's not April Fool's yet. F? No, genuinely, I have some really cursed stuff. Well, in that case, you may want to get that looked into. Curses have a nasty habit of staying around unless you do something about them. I really can't get nice curves, which is why I never do fictional B&H reprints. Beatrice. So I actually copied. Yeah, I'm gonna skim over some of this. Okay. But yeah, if you say anything I post and think, hey, I want that, just let me know and I can send you it. Don't mind sending stuff to friends at all. Also, exciting news, tomorrow is Friday, which means cat coloring is back. Woo! Are you going to color another cat's bottom then? Okay, so we need, okay. So, licenses. Which one is this? I can't read it. So now Creative Commons. Yeah, I think there's just not really from top down. Right. Free to share and use. Free to modify, share and use. I mean, we could maybe try tiling something like this, but that's going to be quite bad looking, I think. Nah. Tell you what, let's just make a temporary texture, and then I can make the proper texture off stream, because that could take a while. So actually, hold on. Okay. So actually, I'm going to quickly switch over to this because I need to open up Pixelmator for this, and I don't know if there are any personal files that might be listed. So I'll be back in a moment. Okay, that all seems good. So, Pixelmator. Let's go for a smaller thing. So how about, I mean, 512 by 512? Does that seem good? Let's just try that. Alright, I need to reduce the size of this so you can actually see it. Okay, and I'm just going to do this really, really quickly. I'm not going to spend much time on this at all. So let's just do that. And then do a little bit of a different color. I'm just gonna basically, oops. Do something like this, just so that we can have a bit of a testing area, well, testing texture to work with. Again, this is just to see if making the product for this actually works. I think that's probably good enough for now. So actually now I need to switch back over to this because I don't know if I export it, if there will be anything private there. 1 second. To export it as a JPEG. And 1 moment. And there we are. Got it saved. Here it is. So that is the JPEG. I do not know if the actual texture file needs texture dot actually text.texture.txt. I don't know if that requires any sort of TGA file, or it'll take the JPEG. If we rename this texture.jpg, which is texture.jpg, then actually hold on. I need to resize this. Tools, adjust size to the 64 by 64 for the thumbnail. Oop, 1 second. Why can this not be changed? Change, so duplicate of your changes has to be created. What? Why? Hold on. 1 second. Oh, I think it's because of the location of where it is on the... Hold on. 1 moment. This was a whole lot easier on my own computer. So there we are. Now I've got the small thumbnail, we've got the big image. So now we've got the text or texture, which is referenced here. And that's got the texture.jpg, which is this one. And then we've got the thumbnail.jpg, which is this one with a size, with a width and height. So now I'll quickly copy this out, just so I've got a backup of it. Did that work? Almost, there we go. And then, yeah, I will delete the asset here and then re-drag it in to re-import it. Okay, so far so good. It displays the thumbnail. Doesn't have a description, but that's okay. Now if I go in here, will this actually show up on the car? 1 second. That's the old one. Sugarcane bulk load, okay. Okay, so 1 second. Yeah, there does seem to be property browser refresh not handled. Script error occurred while attempting to edit the properties of this asset. Okay, so it doesn't look like... Oh, actually, it does say faulty. I didn't see that. What are the errors? View errors and warnings. Product texture not permitted within type product. Did I mess up the... I think I might have messed up the... 1 second. Let's have a quick look. Reveal it in Finder. So this is product texture. What did the error say again? One moment. Errors and warnings. The tag product texture is not permitted within a container of type product. It might be because it's a TGA file, or it might be because we don't have the... 1 second. Let's just try adding the mesh table and see if that fixes it, even though it's empty. So let's try submitting the edits. The errors and warnings. Yep, it still says this. Okay, it might be because of the TGA. Might have to be a TGA file. So, in that case, does GIMP export TGA? Question mark. It might. Okay, so let's have a quick look at GIMP. Is that anywhere down here, or do I have to open it with Spotlight? Hold on. I'll read a bit of chat first while I'm waiting for it to open. Thank you very much for the effort. Just finishing the orange one. Right. Try to add seamless to the filter. I don't know. Jane Smith in the temp. Alright. Oi, do it in Sprite. Art stream? I mean, I did think about kind of maybe having a fantasy mapping / world building stream. However, I don't really have time, well, a slot for that. So here we are now. Is it in save as or is it in export? Let's have a look in export. So show. Oh, this is quite laggy. Is it in here? TGA. Try that, and then that is the correct folder. So export, origin bottom left, sure. Okay, let's quit this. So now we've got a TGA file. So now in, oh, that's the wrong one. In the text of texture, let's change this to TGA. Texture.tga. Actually, hold on, is this even correct? Because I might need to remove the .text at the end. That might be what's causing the issue. Let's try submitting it like this. Oops, still 40. So let's open it in Finder again. And let's try removing the .text at the end. Use .texture. And is that going to work? Submit edits. No. Okay, yeah, so we do actually need the .txt at the end, apparently. So let's have a look. Submit edits. Maybe I can quickly find out what the issue with this error is online. 1 second. Ah, here we go. Help, error, there we go. The tag name is not permitted within a container. Yeah, okay. Tag name used in container is not valid, or is not valid for that container. That might be a misspelling, or might be that the tag is misplaced. For example, an asset included load subcontainer within a queues container. Okay, so it might be syntax related. So let's have a look, and let's just try renaming it. So actually, let's try going with the .jpeg, because I would much prefer that. And then let's rename it to Canetex, which, yes, I realize sounds like a corporation name. And then this one, Canetex. Ah, I think I just misspelled texture. It's as simple as that. I just misspelled texture. Let's see if that fixes it. Maybe not. Oh, hold on. We've got some warnings. It still says it's faulty. Oh no, now it doesn't. Okay, well, let's see if that's actually fixed it or not. Told you it might be I might be misspelling some stuff because I'm typing it fast. Come on, load, come on, there we go. Okay, so let's get rid of this sugarcane. Let's go here and go with sugarcane bulk load. The image loads. Let's put stuff in. Ta-da! Look, we've got our lovely sugarcane in here. Ta-da! Now imagine if this actually had a proper texture in it. It's really, really stormy out there. Lots of rain, lots of wind. But yeah, I did have, regarding art stream, I did think of maybe having like a fantasy mapping stream. Although I don't know how I would have the camera set up because I would have to do it on actual paper. And then we could do like building, like world building with it and things. But just doing that for the fun of it, I don't know. Although I suppose we could maybe do it with like make a game from it. Like we do all the world building first, and then we've got the world. Oops, sorry. I hope that wasn't too loud. Then when we've got the world finished, we could maybe do some. I actually need to quickly 1 second. Revert. Open editing. Revert if I'm No, revert to original. Yeah, we could maybe do, depending on what kind of world it ends up being, we could do a game that's set in the world, have loads of lore in it and loads of stuff like that. That could be really fun, but it's really time consuming as well, so... but yeah, I'm up for art stream. We had a few of those in the past with the bricks. Bricks, yeah, whereas Unity showed us Unity 3D streams. Yeah, when I spent months of worth of streams making brick textures, yeah, I would have needed the extra time off stream to work on it, but I didn't have that, and so that's why that didn't work, and that's why they stopped. Superb content, yes. Superb content, yes, I expected that. Yeah, you can say that again. Yeah, it's the playlist, you know me. Of course, we're BFFs. Haha, yes, also shout outs. We're at on 799 subscribers on YouTube. Oh, really? Do I? Thank you. I have too many BFFs to count for. To count fort, apparently. To count fort, as in fortress. I have too many BFFs to count fortress. XD. Some sort of code, obviously. I appreciate that the confirmation. Ooh. Who will be now sub and 800? You! Don't allow me to, and the other 50. I'm sub number 1. Really? Oh, is it a secret? They... Oh, where was it? It jumped. I'm going to have to glance over some of this. Because otherwise the whole stream will be taken up by reading chat. And I do actually want to get building done. Where was I? Maybe upset knowing if placed. Yes. Zuckerrohr.jpg. You can. Right. You can just rename a PNG file to TGA and it might work. I don't know enough about those file formats to be able to tell. Favoritism is a mere product of the human mind. I'm not sure that it's strictly human. I found with .movint.j.mp4, sorry, .movint.mp4 without issue. Well, congratulations. Disable compression, check the file that cost issues contained. Yeah, I just renamed it. Well, named it wrongly. Circus top load. It looks a bit like it, yeah. Okay, that is stunning. That is, yes. For your own RPG video game, I mean, that would be great. But it would just take so long to make, just as a single developer. Or is that too much personal information? Sorry. Just joking. Could you wanted to do one, didn't you? Could well build for that. Rebus button refund unsubmitted edits confirm. Yes. Hello, Elisa VGR. Welcome. Just imagine if it was his to us. Yeah, we're best friends. What's that wagon loaded with? It's loaded with a temporary texture of sugarcane. Yeah, imagine if this is the final texture for it. Sugarcane, yeah, but one is the best friend forever, favorite. Should just unload. It's social hierarchy. You just made it. Right, so anyway, so the actual issue of the load isn't an issue. Because, well, I can now confirm that I can make my own load for this. Which means that we can use the gondolas for the sugarcane. Although, I mean, yeah, that'll work. Right? Question mark? Because we've got these cranes to load it with anyway. So it'll probably have ropes or something around it and then be loaded in like these bales, I would assume, and then be transported somewhere. So now the question is, how many carloads of sugarcane do we want coming out of here? Also, is this the best gondola for the job? I think it's probably good, especially since it's just railgun. Plus it's got the 2 different textures it can have as well. Even though it just... there we go. Those 2 different textures. Right, so let's have a look at some of these places. Ahem. This needs to be moved off of the layer. Actually, no, this is on root layer. Why am... Oh, this is on temp block. There we go. Also, hold on. Did we not set the little one up yet? I thought we did, question mark. Anyway, that's something to check later. That's something to double check later. So, here we go. Wrong load of sugarcane. Sugarcane bulk load. Let's just add that in there for now. Right, so how many cars? If we did 4, because we've got 3 places to load from. We've got this place here. Then if we go all the way along here, we've got another place here. And then we've got another place over here, which has got some of these box cars on it currently. So I think 4 cars per is probably good, because that would mean 12 carloads per hour. So then let's just go over into... Although, thinking about it, we've got all of these different sidings here, which, yes, granted, could easily be used for trains that come from up here or from over here that want to turn around to go the other way, either down this way or up the Milton Valley. Which this is probably used for, especially since we've got caboose track anyway. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that would be this many cars. Let's just quickly give it the load. Sugarcane bulk. Is that enough cars? If we'd added 1 more per, so it would be 5 cars instead of 4, then it would be 15. Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. I think that that's probably a good number. What do you think? Considering that all of this will have to not only come through this siding, but also it'll have to come through the big yard at New Penzance, and then come over the little flyover into the industrial district over to the sugary. Although, thinking about it, I mean, there are videos on YouTube of sugarcane trains, and those trains get really quite long. Although I do like how our yard is filling up. If we imagine just logs and wood chips and general goods, and newspapers and paper rolls and sugarcane and coal and diesel and crude oil and sulfuric acid and waste acid and all of these different things, and gravel and cement, and yeah, this is really filling up quite nicely. Right. Origin, Milton Valley Portal West 1. What do you mean? Destination, oh right, as in that's where it comes from. Destination, Knago Zuckermühle, track 3. Ha! Zuckerfeld, more like. Strand, yeah, that's plenty. Ha, sugary. I just wonder what they'll do with all those circus tarps. Ha ha ha. Paper mache bulk load. I mean, so, I'll bust through. What do you think? Do you think that's enough? Or do you think we need more or less than this? Looks it actually. Less? Less? There's a lot. Well, yeah. But you've got to remember, this is sugarcane farming in America. Look at all of these fields. Look, just look at all of this sugarcane we've got here. Look at all of this. Just look at all of this sugarcane there. That we've got. So just think about whether this is truly, whether those are truly enough cars for all of this. There's a lot. Oh, that's a great name for a town on a German route. Zuckerfeld. Yeah. There's a lot. Why is there so much? Yes. Well, it's the USA. I bust through. Something tells me you're not in Sussex anymore. We're not. South Downs don't look like that. Yeah, so do we think that 15 carloads out of this place per gameplay hour is enough? Because I'm leaning towards adding a couple more. No, I tend not to think. Well, that's what you think. For real? Why just a couple? Well, how else would they hold together if I don't couple them? Maybe like 3 more. So that it's 6 per loader. Yeah, sounds good. Good. Yeah, but if you just look at like sugarcane train, hold on. I know this. I meant trains, not locomotives. There are videos on YouTube. Hold on. Actually, no, I can't do that. 1 second. No, that's narrow gauge as well. No, I need... Hold on. Florida sugarcane train. Yeah, just look at all of these sugarcane cars they've got here. Look at that, and that's just one coming out of the fields from one particular loading area. Yeah, I think adding 3 more is probably good. Although, we do also have to consider where this will go. So let's do that. So it'll have to, of course, come up over here. But again, this This doesn't necessarily mean that this whole unit train will have to be like this. It just means that we might have cars coming out of it more often, or that might need to be split up when it comes down over here. It probably will have to be split up when it comes down over here, because there's no, I mean, although looking at it, it's almost fits in the siding, almost, or we can split it up. And then you have this long train. Just imagine that, a little switcher or something coming over here from between the buildings, and then you just get, hold on, that was the wrong end, and then you just get car and car and car and car after car of sugarcanes just rolling by like this. Although, yeah, I think this is probably a good length, thinking about it. Especially considering that with raw sugarcane coming in, the refining process will likely get rid of a large percentage of that before it's actually turned into sugar that can be used by consumers. Plus 64. Sounds good. There might be videos on YouTube, yes. But what about sugarcane trains? Okay, quadruple it. Little kids in the industrial district. Naps a few sugarcanes. Hey ma, I got tonight's dinner. Ha! I mean, if you can get under the tarp, sure. Okay, so this is how many now? 12, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 cars. So that would mean 6 per. Yes. So each one of these carries 50,000 units. So let's get the calculator. Actually, yeah, let's set it up over by the sugarcane farm first, and then we can enter it into the table later. So sugarcane bulk load. This needs to be units, items. Needs to turn nothing into something. Needs to load in. So, okay, so 50,000 times 6. That's 300,000. Size 300,000. Then we need to divide that by 60. That's 5,000. So every minute it needs to generate 5,000. Right. Elisa, you know, you can just unstrap the tarp. True. You could just call it that. Tarp sugarcane product load. But I don't want it to be tarped. I want you to actually see it. Heh. It's not actually a tarp. Just a placeholder sugarcane texture on Jared's part. It will be replaced eventually, but we can all imagine. Imagine? Imagine what? So over here, I think yeah, so I think I'm going to have the 3 different loading areas be separate on here. So actually, here's a good point. Name the sugarcane farm. What's it going to be called? That it is a tarp. Dragons. Dragons are interesting, definitely. Some might even call them awesome, so awe-inspiring. But I don't think that dragons would be a good name for a sugarcane farm. Bittersweet, sugary. No, the sugar cane farm, not the actual mill to mill the cane into sugar. What do we think? Bittersweet Acres Sugar Farm. I'm thinking perhaps putting a name in front of sugarcane. So it's something sugarcane. And then we've got the sheds, and then we've got the two other loaders. Shane Sugarcane? I mean, Shane is a traditional name, of course, from families that came from Ireland over to the USA. Rhymes too. Yeah. Not sure if I'm a big fan of that in this case. Ireland, would that be Sean? I think Shane also came over from Ireland. I think. Jane Sugarcane? Actually, maybe Shane is okay. I'll bust through. What do you think about Shane Sugarcane? Pain. I physically can't help with that because I'm not there. I can only perhaps help with psychosymptomatically, where I give you lots of confidence that everything will be good and the pain will go away, and then that causes your brain to actually make you feel like it's actually going away. But I can't physically do anything about that, sorry. Shane Sugarbane. No, that's the name of a band. Well, lead singer for a band. Dr. Sharadice, what do you mean? I don't have a doctorate as far as you know. Okay, I hear no objections. So, Shane Sugarcane it is for now. Shane Sugarcane Sheds. Actually, yeah, that might as well be the output. So, sugar cane bulk load. Then we've got 6 carloads per hour. Actually, hold on, what sized font do we have up here? 10. 11. Why is that 11? Huh. Odd. I'll have to think about that. Anyway, yeah, 6 colors per hour. And then the destination is not available yet. Surprise! Yeah, Doctor. Yeah, surprise! Yes, it is. You do now. Do I? In what? A doctorate in what? Have you gotten Sharadice's doctorate? He exclaimed. Although, Kangafango, will you enter Sotum this month? Sotum? What is that? I saw it right before the stream. I might. Screenshot. Oh, right, on Fellow's film. Okay, so we've got this, and then we've got to have another one, which should be loader 2, and then loader 3. And this should be the same for both of these. So Shane Sugarcane loader 2 is going to be this one. Oh, wait, we already gave it a name. It is Parsons Cane, apparently. Did we? Hold on. Why didn't the other one have a name then? 1 second. This one's just called Multiple Industries. What's this one called? Oh, this one's also called Parson Crane. Well, now we've got to decide the new or the legacy, the historical, which we already chose back then. It was Parsons Kane loader 2, Parsons Kane loader 3, so on. Original? Okay. Parsons Kane. Yeah, we can't change history. That wouldn't be right. If we did ever do world building stuff, you would have to change that that view. So if this one is Parsons Kane loader 3, sugar cane loader, quickly set that up. Fella son, it's UK-based OMSI2 forum. Listen, you either a smart fella or a beep smeller. Oh, so I need, what was it, 300,000. Let's see if I can recall the numbers. So 300,000 for this. And then it was every 60 seconds 5,000. Parsons Kane loader 2. Sugar cane loader. This one's the one we already set up, and so now we need to set up one more. Parsons Crane vote original. We can't change history, wouldn't be right? Yes. Vote spoil ballot. I mean, if you think it's a good idea to spoil the ballots, then go right ahead, but do it in your own country. Okay, so we need 300,000. I think that world building stream or mapping streams and stuff like that could be really a lot of fun, but it's just the purpose of it. Other than fun, I don't really know what it would be, unless it is for like game world to then set games in, but then with role-playing games isn't really. I think it might be tricky to pull off to make it fun and interesting long term without putting stuff like combat in, which I wouldn't want to do. So anyway, so this needs to be renamed. Parsons Kane loader 1. Sugar cane loader. Save. Okay, so these are now officially set up. Plus, I do need to actually. Oh, actually, this is quite good. Because of 6 cars needing to be loaded at each one of these, the sidings here aren't going to be long enough. So you're actually going to have to run back and forth to the yard back there, because the yard back there will actually be used for storage for these cars, which means that this yard will actually have stuff sitting in it regularly. Yeah, we can even have an incoming and outgoing track like this. Plus 1 track on the side for a train that maybe needs to turn around or something like that. Yeah, so then we can have, like for example, over here, This can be the outbound track. For example, we'd have these ones filled as well. And then other trains, once the empties come back this way, they could be decoupled here. And then you could have them waiting on this track. And then coming back in. And if we only had a few carloads, then that wouldn't really be enough. Code Monkey, hey! Oh, hello, Code Monkey, welcome. Welcome. What now? Ghostly Venture Paradise? Ghostly Venture can't really do much world build. I mean, we can do world building in the sense of building an image of how the world works in the game, in terms of like what different creatures do and, well, yeah, how they work and where they come from in game, in universe, and that sort of stuff. But then that would be a bit spoilery for anybody watching, because then it kind of defeats the mystery element of it, because you don't have, like, if there's a ghost, like you're in the forest somewhere and there's this creature that looks like it looks like a bush, but then as you get close to it, spider legs come out and it starts crawling around in circles around your player character, and then it runs away. If you just encounter that in-game, that would be quite unnerving. It would be a bit creepy. It would probably be scary. You might even get an unintentional jump scare or two out of it. And it would be a fun encounter. But if we world build that element, and then we go into where these creatures come from, and like maybe the spider legs are actually more of a root kind of system to pull nutrients and moisture out of the ground through the mycelium, network, and then when someone gets too close, it goes out, and the reason why the roots look like spider legs is because it's a kind of defensive mimicry, where the roots that happen to look more like spider legs meant that other creatures were more scared of it, and that's why it does the whole thing about running in a circle, because it tries to scare the thing that's getting too close away by trying to make it believe that it's a spider that's about to attack, but actually it's quite harmless. Yeah? So if we went all into all of that world building on stream, and everybody who's watching it is there to see that, then when they play the game and encounter it, it's like, oh, a little bush with spider-like roots. Oh, it's trying to make me scared, but it's harmless. And that's the reaction. So that wouldn't really work very well. And in terms of, yes, there would be some lore element. Also, the reason why I'm not doing anything at the moment is because we need to figure out where to put the the sugary. I'm thinking probably up here or something. Yeah, probably in this area up there. Yeah, so yeah, because we will then have lots of bulk coal coming this way and the sugarcane coming up that way. So there would be some lore in it, like for example why there are Roman ruins in this other ghost world, whatever thing. But we can't do a lot of it because it's randomly generated. And because of that, we don't have geography, what we can work with. We don't have much of, we can't really do much with architecture. Yes, we can do it in specific. The way that it was working was that when the underground areas generate, the dungeons, so to say, the rooms, it picks a random, basically it draws out a random map and puts rooms in different places. And then those rooms get picked from a list of different rooms and are filled with random stuff. So while we could, within rooms, have continuity about history from an architectural point of view and contents point of view, you couldn't really do much with that, because you wouldn't have control over the layout and stuff like that to make sense like that, since it's random. So I don't think that Ghostly Venture would work for that. It would have, like, the sort of thing that I was thinking about was making a section of a planet, whether it's a continent or part of a continent, or maybe just an island or something like that, and then developing the geography of that and the cultures and countries. Maybe do a little bit of conlanging as well. I really haven't done much in that, but it seems really interesting. Not too much, because otherwise we could spend years doing it, but just scratching the surface a bit, just to give some consistent sounding place names, and we get an idea of how the language of the people work and stuff like that, and then maybe do a bit of pantheon creation and history of some people to then draw up states and borders. And then once we've developed the world enough, or at least that section of the world, then we would have to set a game in that. And the kinds of games that lend themselves to exploring open areas like this are either sandbox games, which wouldn't really fit very well with with such established lore, because again, most sandbox games benefit from being randomly generated or giving the player lots and lots of freedom in a world that has cultures and borders and cities and towns and all of this lore. You can't give the player that much freedom, because that wouldn't make sense, unless, of course, the world is built around that purpose. So it would have to be a game giving the player an avatar in that world, which would then be an RPG, a role-playing game. Bye-bye, Lisa. See you all tomorrow. Good night, or rather good morning for you. Bye-bye. Oh yes, I've seen the time. I'll finish this up quickly, and then we'll continue with working on the ridge, I promise. So, yeah, so that would be, by definition, a role-playing game, an RPG, where you are controlling an avatar in this fictional world that has established a worldiness to it. And then, on the one hand, it would be great for actually then building parts of that world where the story of the game intersects with the world building that we've done. And I could do we could do so much placing of lore elements and hiding that some of that stuff away, so for the player to dig and then actually find some genuinely thought out lore behind that. However, in that case, the gameplay loop might be tricky to make that interesting long term, because, like I said, most RPGs, role-playing games, video games, depend heavily on combat, on fighting, where you mostly battle monsters and or armies and bandits and stuff like that, and you level up, and basically the sort of stuff that carries over from D&D. But in video game format, I don't want to put that in the game, because that's just not what I would enjoy playing, and so it's not what I would enjoy making either. So I would have to come up with a core gameplay loop that is just as enticing as that stays interesting for long enough, while also giving an opportunity to explore the world. Now, this could be something like, I mean, we might be able to make some sort of trading simulator where in a town you've got like a little, I don't know, a little shop, and you've got a deal with a farmer. You started with a deal with a farmer who every so many days gives you cartloads of, I don't know, radishes or something, and then you sell that and you earn a little bit of money, and then you can actually expand trade routes. Like, for example, different regions might have different things they produce, and so you could, like first person or third person or something, walk around and you could track down different, like maybe you could talk with sailors or other people to then figure out where, like the political situation of which areas might have less taxation, and then you could set trade routes along certain roads where you might get taxed less, or where it would be safer from the stuff being stolen by bandits or stuff like that. And then as you get more and more money, you could maybe get different licenses to then import other goods, maybe from boats or maybe other things. And you actually have to travel to different cities and different people to physically go there and make a trade deal with those people who produce that thing. And then we might be able to even, depending on how controversial we want to get, we might be able to put in like a morality system where certain regions exploit their workers more and thus give you better deals, but then maybe that wouldn't be so great, because maybe we could have another story element over the top where on the one hand you need to earn a lot of money doing this, but on the other hand you also kind of have to remain guilt-free in that way. And so that could be a way of doing something with that world building, but that again is an incredible amount of work. You're not just building the environment, but you'd have to build so much for it. So much. So yeah, building an RPG without combat being at its heart, I think is a difficult task, and one that would require a lot of time. And at the moment, I'm not really looking for games to make games that require a lot of time. However, that all being said, I do still think that having a few mapping / world building streams could be really fun. So Albastro, does that answer your art stream question? Right, now I've quickly got to reach out and then hurry up with the route. Ghostly Venture, but no, that's randomly generated. There we go. You sent the message you literally sent in the same minute. Took me half an hour to explain. Whose idea was Parsons Crane? Parsons Kane, I don't remember. Miss W, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, true. But wouldn't any world building stream be spoilery for chat? Kind of not. Because there's a different. Actually, hold on. Yeah, let's just figure out some layout. Because there's a difference between having the audience know about world building elements, like for example over those mountains that in universe nobody's crossed before. There's a civilization of sky ship builders, for example, and they are actually the progenitor race of the people of the valleys, because they had so many airships that they were constantly crossing the world with, and then some sort of either natural or other event caused so many of them to crash on the other side of the mountains, and that's who the peoples of the valley were originally. So you could have all of that lore and world building in place in the streams, and then if you play the game or whatever set in it, maybe read a book that's set in it, who knows, I don't think that knowing that your character is technically a descendant of the people who build the sky ships is really spoilery. Now, yes, if part of the game is uncovering this, well, actually, no, that's not really true either, because if in-game you, for example, then you go into some, I don't know, some ancient forests, and you discover a place in which some of those old skyships may be crashed, and you've still got a little bit of their remnants left over, then actually finding that in-game, even if you already know the lore on a player level, I think would be just as impactful, maybe even more, if you as a player already know the significance of this, even if the character doesn't. So I think that for a game where uncovering the history and the lore of the thing is central to the experience of the game through the character, I don't think that knowing the broad strokes of the world building, or maybe even some of the finer details, is necessarily that big of an issue, because actually being there in-game, I think still knowing it on paper wouldn't compare. Plus, if we did do something like that, then the sheer difference in time... Actually, hold on, there's the wrong thing, because if we're going to have a crane on this bit, then... Actually, I might as well get the crane out now. Then we need road access for that side. So yeah, then that wouldn't... I don't think that would really impact it negatively that much, if that is central to it. But with Ghostly Venture, you're not looking at it on a mind level, if that makes sense, because with those bush spider creatures, that's a reaction you have to something. And then the unknown aspect of it is what makes it or what breaks it. Whereas if it's about actual history, not so much an issue. At least with the other idea that I just talked about. Come on. There we go. And now you're spoiling it for everyone already. Alright, that was the bush spider thing. Now we all know it. Also, though, I think those playing Ghostly Venture would be far, far more than those who'd have watched the spoilery stream. So you could a spoiler warning in the description or something. Maybe. Basically. So maybe it would be a good idea to have... Hold on. This is maybe multiple cranes along this bit. They have to be rotated the right way. I just want to get the basic layout done here, so that I can then set up the multiple industries. I mean, lengthwise for the multiple industry track, this works. How many cars would fit on here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold on. I'll read chat later, 1 second. Come on. Multiple industry. Oh, there we go. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Really? I thought I put it on a different layer. Oh, is the track on? No, that's on root layer. Why doesn't that allow me to place it then? That's odd. Hold on, are these... Oh, I placed those on the temp locked. Hold on. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, so that's... If we imagine the entire produce of that coming in here at once, this is the amount coming in. So I do think that we will need more sidings. Or sightings. Sightings might also work. Yeah, not all of these have to feed in there. Having one runaround loop, I think, is enough. Because we won't have this entire length coming in here anyway, because, well, that's not how much of this will work. But yeah, if we then imagine having the ability to cut this up into several pieces, we could just shove in, unload, shove in there, unload, go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And then this is already enough to unload all the way, and then you could just collect up there. So yeah, even if we did all of them at once, this would have the capacity for it, which is quite good, I think. Yeah, although we are also going to need a loader for sugar, which I think would be hoppers and boxcars. Boxcars for the lesser demand. Although, actually, do we want the... Yeah, well, we kind of have to. I think originally I wanted the sugar cane to be transformed into sugar over here, so that we then have the sugar coming from up here all the way back down to here, because I did put a pin in here, which is the candy factory, and it wouldn't really make sense to have a candy factory over here somewhere to deliver sugar to as one of the primary consumers if the sugary is already just over here. However, do we have any empty industries left over here? I don't think we do. Although this could easily be a candy factory, especially since we've got big tanks for stuff and kind of mobster looking cars on the side. So that fits. So we could add in a multiple industry over here somewhere. For the sugarcane unloading. Let's just have a look at what this would look like. I know I still need to catch up on chat. Hold on, I need the push pin. Although this, yeah. So if this is the candy factory, John or otherwise, then could we even connect this? I mean, if we had something, yeah, that would be a bit too harsh. We'd have to have the unloader here, which actually might not be that bad. And then if this were, of course, lowered down into the ground. Although it kind of can't be that low down because of this road. Oh, that's the wrong key. 1 second. Yeah, and then I'd probably have to do quite a bit of retexturing over here to make this work a bit better. Maybe even lower down the road a little on this stretch. Is that coming over? Yep, that's even a little bit tall still. Something like that. And that would have to come through like this. And then, yeah, we'd have to have probably the junction in there. Straighten that bit. Like that. Then I have to raise this up so that it can walk on what, water? What was it in the song? Hold on 1 second. I know I need to read chat because there might be suggestions. And or jokes. I don't know which are important, or more important, sorry. Yeah, so if we had something like this. Hold on, okay, I'll replace the junction lever. I think that could work quite nicely. And we could have a hopper or so. Maybe 2 hoppers or something like that. Coming over here, and then we'd need another one of these buildings. Or would it be dumped or would it be pumps? Might be pumps actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Anyway, I don't really want to do too much detailing over here. This is just for future stuff when we actually get to the sugar commodity itself. Right, could you spot one? Yes. Ooh, Pantheon creation. Sounds fun. Hehe. Why does that sound so mischievous, Kango? Ooh, Pantheon creation. Sounds fun. Hehe. Okay. Yes, Elisa Vijar is gone, yes. Maybe if you had theological combat instead? Nah. Medieval Merchant Simulator 2024. Developer, Paradise, Publisher, Airsoft GmbH. No. No. Yeah, give the player a reputation meter. Or a credibility meter. Yeah, I mean, stuff like that. If it could be fun... Like, I think I could find that sort of game fun. Having to manage all those different things. And then somehow turn a profit. And also probably progress in the story. But I think that the target demographic of people who would be interested in something like this is probably not that large. Also, I've just realized the counterweight is on the wrong side. Hold on. This is 307, so this needs to be 307 as well. Yeah, so I don't really think that that game would probably sell much. Maybe make a lore-making, world-building stream for your work-in-progress bus game? I mean... If I had a work-in-progress bus game, then I might be able to. But again, then I'd be bound to the real life world. So I'd have to just take into consideration, like, probably the Celts. I mean, if I want to go all the way back, we could go to the Proto-Indo-European culture, and then we could have the Celts, we could have the beaker pot people maybe playing a part in it, and then you'd have maybe the Phoenicians. If there's tin mining going on, we could have some history of Phoenicians coming to buy the tin to fuel the Bronze Age in the Fertile Crescent. And then we could have the Romans coming, doing their things, maybe also exploiting it for that, and then maybe it could be strategically important, militaristically For that, so we could have some old forts, we could have then going into the medieval period with the Vikings showing up and stuff like that. And that's where we could maybe get some of the names for, basically do the stuff that the Island of Sodor did. Or that Audrey did for the Island of Sodor. But when I consider all of the other things, like fantasy elements I could use by not having it be grounded in the real world, there are just so many more possibilities that if I went to all of the trouble of doing world building like that, then I would want to have I would want to make just, well, scratch the surface of doing conlanging, for example. And if you don't know what conlanging is, it's the construction of, well, constructed languages, basically. Okay, so this is going to be the area where we load up our hoppers, which we'll probably do via pumps, to be honest. So now I need to find some of those pumps again. Actually, for loading, we would need a loading rack, which we used somewhere. Where? Oh yes, the farm. Was it a farm? It was something. No, this one was just the conveyor going up. Oh, where did I use it? Oh, down here, of course, for the flour. That makes sense. Hey, sorry, I zoned out. Had something to take care of. Hi. Oh yes, hello. So I take it that that answers your question then. Well, you'll be able to watch the archive. Took quite a while to explain it all. Haha. Sorry. No worries. These streams will be archived after all. Shardais, and now you've spoiled the people of the valley, builders of the skyships connection already too. Yeah, but the thing is, I don't think that that would really damage the perception of, well, the experience of it if the focus is on exploring this fantastical place. Because if I imagine myself playing that game and then already knowing that history, I think that might even enrich the experience. Because at that point you're not... Because, well, if your game is centered around all of the history and lore that you built for this world, then having the players already have an appreciation for it and a knowledge of it, yeah, might just enrich the experience. Because at that point, I mean, I guess it depends on how much of the game is centered around discovering all of this stuff. But even then, it could still be good through the if it's discovery through the character. And we weren't prepared to mute. Gotcha. Temp lock should have been locked. Ah, well. Whoa, there's a lot. Bush spider sightings? Not sea candy. Candy mill. Mobster chocolate. Illegally delicious. I mean, what? Too cramped squeezed? What do you mean? This over here? No, I don't think so. I think that fits in quite nicely here. All we have to do is have a couple of pumps along here, and then pipe and for the sugar to come out and being led over here. I mean, we're just talking about a couple of hoppers coming in, not too many. Candy factory right next to the docks. Well, it's an industrial area, so why not? Especially if they ship out to other towns along the river. Song on water? On water bar? Yeah, you raised me up. There's a song. Needs a sign on it for the candy factory's name. Shane Sugarcane Candy. Play to NPC. What would you like to make a trade with me? What? You would like to make a trade with me? Wait, are you the guy who stole that butternut squash from the grocer and made her buy it back? And you want me to make a deal with you? No way. In fact, I'm going to tell all my friends about you. Too. Keep a lookout for crooks that match your silly appearance. Minus 30 reputation. Oh no! Languages are made up anyway. True. Hint. Purchase the different outfit from the tailor and equip it. Flower Power GmbH. I do get that. Reno, Glorx, enrich experience. Just 2 or 3 sugar hoppers. Yeah, seems fine. About you took it. Yeah, just 3 or 4 hoppers. So if we went back to those white hoppers, these ones. So if we go over here, and we'll probably extend this track a little tiny bit. I mean, actually, just having 1 hopper is probably going to be enough. Maybe 2. Maybe 2. If I extend this a bit. Oh, the days back when you could still move tracks that had trains near or attached. Okay, and then just have this kind of ending over here. Then yeah, if we just have like two hoppers sitting here like this with some pumps attached to them. Maybe we just have the pumps here on this little stretch and this just going off into the bush somewhere. I think that that's great. Probably have to move the road just a slight bit over so that we've got more space for a fence along here. But I think that that'll work great. Anyway. Yeah, I saw that coming. You cannot extend track spline here. Train concentrations. Yeah. So, going back over here to the place where we're actually supposed to be working. So, we'll need 2 hoppers. Actually, let's use that end of the multiple industry. Although I suppose using the short one might be a little bit better for this. So then you wouldn't necessarily load both of them in the same go. Well, I'd still quite like the length of this. Then perhaps I can move this to be a bit better fitting. So if we have a car here being loaded. So actually, yeah, so because we've got sugar coming in the hopper to the candy factory, and then we've got probably like 1 boxcar worth coming over up to the Crosswood Junction breadery, and that's just a boxcar that has some like bags of sugar in it. Aw, tiny car loading station, just precious. Oh yeah, of course it is precious. Okay, so if we just have like, I don't know, 3 of these. No, not 3 of those. I meant 3 of the pumps. What rotation? About 360. So about 0. Height plus 4.5. So we need 3 of these. Right. Of course, it is precious. Have you seen what these things go for? Yeah, we need 3 of these. Multiple industries in using you called, sire. Okay, so let's just spread these out slightly more, like so. And then, well, hold on. Yeah, I'm going to have to rotate this the other way around actually because of where the ladder is. And then I'm just going to pull in the multiple industry just a little bit closer. Oh, I can't. Can I seriously not move that because the... Oh, no. No, it's because of the temp locked. There we go. See, you can move splines with cars on it, or rail vehicles on it. It just doesn't like it when you do that. Okay, so that's for the bulk sugar loading. And then we'll need a warehouse to load the bags from. I mean, we could just reuse this one. I think that'll work. And then yeah, we'll of course also need all the processing area and stuff like that. But that is for later detailing work. That's not something that I want to do now. Although, seems a little large like this. Although, that could work. Or maybe we just have like a team truck or something like that. Like we built over here. So it's basically just a platform like this and then the sacks get loaded in like that. Although I suppose you wouldn't really want sugar to get wet. Anyway, I'll just leave this here as a placeholder. And then... Wait, wet? Why? What do you mean? What do you mean? Wouldn't want sugar to get wet. Well, because you're delivering it in a powder form, and if it gets wet, then it'll dissolve. And some of it might run away with the water, and the stuff that doesn't run away with the water would then, once it dries, no longer be a powder, would it? Yeah, but why would it get wet? Well, if it's not covered, if it's just a platform like that, then the sacks might get wet that it's in. Or the bags or whatever. Okay, so then we've got a car there. We've got a car there for bulk. Yeah, see, then when you're switching out this industry, you're bringing in all the raw sugarcane, and then switching that out over here, and then you also bring in some. You're bringing in some empty hoppers and a boxcar coming into here, and then once you're switching them back out, going back all the way this way, and then crossing back over the top, coming into the yard, then are we sure that there's not an easier way of doing this? Anyway, yeah, coming in here, then you'd have to put it into different tracks because the hopper is going to New Southport, and the other one, the boxcar, is going up to Crosswood Junction. So those need to go on 2 separate trains, even though they're coming from the same industry. Couldn't we, hold on. Could we theoretically, or theatrically, if you would prefer, have an underpass or something like that over here? Because the amount of stuff that we need that needs to go into here does seem to be just a bit much to go for all of it to go over the flyover. I just quickly want to have a look at what this would look like height-wise. Not saying we're going to do this. However, I just want to have a quick look. Let me say first. Magic, yes. DS sugar sludge product. Ah, gotcha. News Towerport. Oh, yes, of course. Sourport. Could we, theoretically, have an underpass? Sounds about right. Ha. Okay, so if I just did this, I don't think. I mean, we might have to angle them. Yeah, the only issue is the height. So let's say, well, I say the only issue, one of the issues is the height. So let's say we've got a track coming this way. Of course, that's much too sharp of a corner there. But height-wise, that also kind of doesn't work. What we'd need is like a diagonal bridge so that the supports wouldn't get in the way like this. Maybe we could have like an, hold on. Well, there are these tunnels, JMR tunnels, which could theoretically work. Then we might put some... Oh wait, is that... Oh, that was just the portal. This is the actual spline of it. Oh, that's the wrong way around. I thought that was... Oh, it's because the game... it rotates it all to be the same. Oh, that's really annoying. It rotates it all to be the same way around. So I can't actually attach this spline to the other one. I'd have to give an approximation. I mean, obviously this would need to be taller. However, it might be a possibility. So let's just take one of our switchers and see height-wise how much we'd have to go. About that much. So what if I took this down to negative 1.5 meters? And this is just testing around. Ah, look. With 1.5 meters, that actually just about fits through, look. And gaining 1.5 meters elevation isn't necessarily that tricky. Now yes, granted, double stacks wouldn't fit through here. Plus the curve would be a bit of an issue. However, if we are using a tunnel like this, we could maybe make this work. I did say theoretically, sure it is, some FMA bridges are diagonal, I know, but those may be to UK, yeah, exactly. Never knew, this never was the case, this was never the case, Why do they need to bug that up? Probs too low, that tunnel. Maybe Bill and Ben would fit? Yeah, I mean, I did increase the height. But would they need to double stacks? No, they wouldn't. They could go, well, either the double stacks don't even go into the yard, although actually, well, yeah, they kind of have to because you can't cross over here. So yeah, they would have to go into the yard and then come over the top. Either that or they go on there and we have the transfer for the double stacks back there somewhere for the intermodal stuff. Why would they need to double stack some shutters? I said, could we theologically have an underpass, not theoretically. Oh, I see. Yeah, theologically we could. Okay, now I have to delete that and redo this bit because it's annoying like that. But okay, so let's have a quick look. Come on. There we go. So if okay, let's just delete these two splines because they're not needed currently. I didn't delete the, oh, I did. Actually, I might be able to connect them. If I just put this in here, would that work, or would that? Ah, this way around I can do it if I connect, if I put in the connecting spline last, that'll work. Okay, and I might even be able to rotate this so that we've got a bit of a curve in the tunnel. Although it would mean that I have to lower it ever so slightly, because otherwise that would be clipping through. Yeah, I do think that this does need an additional point to the yard. So this could cross over here, then come running along here, and then, well, it depends. Actually, we could have it run along here, and have a diamond, and have this come in right into the coaling thing, so that then Trainz could run around here, and then come around, or just back up onto into the yard there. That way it wouldn't be as... That way it wouldn't make the rest over there as redundant as it would otherwise. I think that might be a good idea. Come on. Come on. Load in. Load in. Okay. Right, so this needs to be arranged slightly differently. So just something like this. Plus we get to have a diamond this way. Okay, and then if this came up to here, could we theoretically make this work? Given the space that we've got. The answer is maybe. So, hold on, did I not apply the spline height all the way or something? Okay, so we just put that end there. And then we'll need hold on. You'll need one end to be pretty much there, and one end to be there. And then if I rearrange this slightly so that it follows the curve, and it follows the curve around through here, then exits out this way. Would the train fit through like this? Maybe if I use the correct tool. 1 second. The answer is barely. The track would really need to be a little bit lower than that. Well, this is 1.5, so what about 1.6? Well, 1.7 perhaps. What about now? Oh yeah, that is more reasonable like that, having that gap up there. So then, would we have enough space? Let's just create a little bit of a gradient. If we said going up a 3% gradient out of here, just coming up there. Oh yeah, I mean, a 3% would get us up here, like in that little amount of space there. So we could even go to like a 2% gradient. Oops. And then even a 2% gradient would do the job in that amount of space. And this curve really isn't that sharp. So then we'd probably use retaining walls or something up here as well. So then got rid of the gradient here, then reapplied it. Actually, look, I think this is a fairly reasonable line. And then the road would, of course, have to go down a little bit to meet the tracks. So having a curve like that would, I think, be acceptable. Then, of course, the road would need to have a crossing in here. Then we'd have to, of course, patch this up here with things like the ground splines, like the beton splines and retaining walls and stuff like that. But I think that having an additional entrance to the industrial district is really going to add a lot, because the flyover up here isn't just wouldn't otherwise just be the entrance to the industrial district. It's also the only way of exiting onto the main line going north. So it's not just stuff that is bound for here, it's all of the stuff going anywhere north of this point that needs to come over this out of the yard. So if we then imagine that the outbound trains come over here, or the trains bound for the industrial district for stuff that's over here, like for example for the fresh pond oils and stuff like that. And then we have some other trains coming in and out through here. Of course, mind you, these probably wouldn't be, well, given we've got to have a yard lead anyway, that would work. Yeah, so we've got other trains coming in through here that have much more direct access, but they have to come over into here and then reverse out that way. Or run around and then go back the other way. I think that that works. I think that that would add a lot of scenery. And we've gone a lot of overtime. Sorry about that. I genuinely didn't see the clock. What will you put around the tunnel? Oh, retaining walls, bushes, the beton spline. So like, for example, if I grab very quickly, grab the abutment, or well, abutment, I'm not sure about that because that's got railing on both sides, but just something similar aka not entirely different from something like that, basically. So that you'd have some sort of a retaining wall or something coming up to, I mean, this one isn't great because this one has the railings and the angledness of it. Something like that coming up to here, then we'd have another retaining wall starting from here going back up along here. Having an additional entrance to the industrial area will really add a lot. I love how twisty and turny this whole rail network in New Penzance is. It's like if you took Falmouth docks, only it's all in an inland city instead. Ha ha ha. I get you, with bushes and grass too. Yes, of course. And some trees maybe as well. Plus I think that could make for some more interesting multiplayer operations down here as well. Also, I love how little lag we're getting in this industrial area down here. Service Pack 5 really does seem to be performing quite nicely. at least performance-wise, considering that my shadows are on currently. That is a really nice surprise. Anyway, that's it. Good night. Bye-bye. Clearly check triggers on the diamond 2 before you forget. I need to place all of the frogs and stuff from this area anyway, so bye-bye. Thumber! Ah, yes, Thumber. Of course. I mean, what else could be the Thumber? Except this. Let me just quickly turn up the render distance. So yeah, like that. What else? So, yep, night. Catch you all tomorrow. Bye-bye. Really enjoy the game dev stuff too. Yes, I would love to do some more stuff with that. Bye.